C1. You are listening at FameTV.info. Several steel rings had bound her thin and weak body to the strange machine. Through the thin and tattered clothes, one could clearly see the bones on the woman's body. The dark green liquid slowly flowed through the transparent pipe and flowed into a pale, transparent palm. A painful expression appeared on the woman's pale face. Ah. An electric current flowed past, and a mournful scream suddenly rang out. The woman couldn't help but tremble, struggling to escape. When the researchers saw this, they immediately brought the tranquilizer forward. As if she had sensed something, she abruptly opened her eyes, revealing a pair of blood-red eyes that were filled with terror and fear. Just as the needle was about to pierce into the green vein, a loud alarm rang from above. A few researchers trembled in fright, and the needle dropped to the ground, breaking into pieces. The sound of fierce fighting and gunfire came from the other side of the tightly shut door. Not good, the people from the NC Alliance are here again. Quickly retreat. The leader of the researchers said with a frown while wearing a mask. But hurry up. If you can take them away, then take them away. If you can't, then kill them. Keeping your life is more important. The steel ring around Ji Ruxue loosened. One of them wanted to grab the emaciated Ji Ruxue while the others opened the secret passage. However, she didn't know where Ji Ruxue suddenly got the strength from. She shook off that person's hand and rushed toward the secret passageway barefooted. She accidentally triggered the system. It's too late, let's go. What bad luck, the NC Alliance is really haunting, Ji Mufeng, just you wait. The few of them could only watch as the secret passageway closed. Ji Ruxue panted as she leaned against the wall. The thin and tattered clothes on her body, due to the intense struggle earlier, were also left behind. However, Ji Ruxue acted as if she did not feel anything. Her large eyes fearfully surveyed the unfamiliar surroundings. "Boss, there's a secret passage here. Would you like to take a look?" Just as she finished speaking, the tip of Ji Ruxue's pale ears trembled slightly. At the end of her words, she heard the sound of chaotic footsteps. Ji Ruxue's instinct for survival made her a little irritable and restless. She ran her hands and feet around the wall in an attempt to find an exit to escape. "Boss, there seems to be someone here." Ji Ruxue heard the voice and knew that it was only a few meters away from her, so she could only kneel down and curl up into a ball. Ji Mufeng personally participated in this NC Alliance operation to encircle and annihilate the initial smoke laboratory, not only to end this experimental base, but also to make up for the regret of many years ago. Just now, they had already counted all the researchers and security personnel in the laboratory. Everyone was present except for that person. He thought he had come too late, but who knew? The moment this idea entered his mind, Ji Mufeng's heart, which was as calm as still water, felt as if a small stone had been thrown into it, causing layers and layers of ripples to appear on his heart. With a cold expression, Ji Mufeng pushed away the squad leader who was walking in front, turned on the flashlight, and walked forward. He saw a skinny figure squatting on the ground with his bare body. There were bruises of varying depth on his smooth white arms. Ji Mufeng's heart skipped a beat, and his face became even darker. He took 2 steps forward and covered his back with his huge body. He then shouted, "All of you, retreat." Ji Ruxue could feel that the aura of this stranger had greatly decreased. Only then did she slowly raise her small head and carefully looked at Ji Mufeng. It was obviously her first time seeing him, but Ji Ruxue felt an inexplicable sense of familiarity with the person in front of her. Ji Mufeng was certain that this familiar face belonged to the girl he failed to save. Ji Ruxue, judging by the time, he should be over 10 years old and his height should be considered normal. However, with such a petite stature, Ji Mufeng could not help but feel a sense of pity for him. He took off his jacket and squatted down to hug Ji Ruxue. Ji Ruxue was like a frightened little beast as she let out a low roar and reflexively tried to grab Ji Mufeng's arm. Following which, his entire body shrunk even more tightly. His reddened eyes were filled with warning, but it was unable to conceal the fear that lurked in the deepest part of his heart. A few wounds appeared on Ji Mufeng's arm, and blood kept flowing out, but he didn't seem to mind at all. His tone of voice was even more gentle. "Don't be afraid. Believe me, from now on, no one will hurt you while I protect you." Ji Rushue's current state of mind was only comparable to that of a 4 or 5-year-old child. It was the time to trust based on her feelings. Perhaps Ji Mufeng's gaze was too gentle, or perhaps the blood stains on his arm were too glaring. Even a child would feel guilty. When Ji Mufeng saw Ji Rushue's defensive posture relax, he immediately helped her to put on her clothes and extended his other hand to cover the back of Ji Rushue's knees. Ji Mufeng's heart ached slightly as he held Ji Rushue with both hands. He lowered his head to look at the little girl in his embrace. His big eyes were staring at himself. There were still a lot of stains on his white face, making him look like an impoverished little kitten. Ji Mufeng chuckled, and couldn't help teasing, "Are you obedient now?" Ji Rushue clumsily wanted to express her feelings when she felt the man's goodwill towards her. She stretched out her dirty little claws and gently caressed Ji Mufeng's chin. His movements were done in one go, and his pair of small hands quickly retracted, disappearing into his loose clothes. The soft sensation on his chin caused Ji Mufeng to momentarily lose his train of thought. A smile appeared on his face, and fearing that the kitten would catch a cold, Ji Mufeng quickened his pace. Ji Mufeng's villa. "Hello, young master." Wang Ma respectfully bowed towards Ji Mufeng as she greeted him. Out of the corner of her eyes, she saw that her young master Gowling actually had a little girl in his arms. Although she was confused, Wang Ma still possessed the ability to become Ji Mufeng's nanny, to know what to ask and what not to ask. "Hurry up and put the hot water on, help her clean it up." Ji Mufeng's tone was gentle, causing Wang Ma to look up to this girl and immediately agree. When she stretched her hand out to take Ji Rushue seemed to be threatened and tightly held on to Ji Mufeng's arm, refusing to let go. Her small body trembled, but she resisted the urge to attack. After a period of stalemate, Ji Mufeng's heart ached, but he was helpless, and could only let Wang Ma leave first. Ji Rushue was sitting naked in the bathtub as she excitedly played with the toy ducks in the water. However, Ji Mufeng had suffered, and had probably encountered the most embarrassing situation he had faced in the past 20.8 years. It was said that he had hidden his eyes and did not know where to look. Ji Rushue awkwardly placed the flower on Ji Rushue's arm while she was holding it. She rubbed it from side to side, not knowing what to do next. Ji Mufeng felt an inexplicable sense of guilt as he looked at Ji Rushue's innocent face. However, he was also a normal man, not to mention that Ji Rushue's body, even though she was a child, still had 18 years of age. Listen to the full novel at FameTV.info, direct link in the description.